Hi everybody, how are you? It's Claire Broad here. I'm a medium and an author and a spiritual teacher, and in this short video I'm going to be talking to you about 2020 and the year of transformation. So 2020, the power of a number. Is there really something in angel numbers and the power of numerology and the communication through the universe using numbers to us so that we can understand things that are going on around us? Well, you know, if you're anything like me, I'm quite a skeptical person and I find it hard to believe sometimes that signs really are all around us. However, my life now has been a process of learning to trust in signs and in numbers, and we do know that the universe is made up of numbers. We can see it all around us, the maths in everything. So there does seem to be a power to certain numbers, and it is strange that in 2020 there seems to be a playing out of the power of the number 2. Now, 2020 110110 equals 1111, which is often classed as an angel number sign or a sign from the universe or from source that is bringing a certain message about purity of consciousness, about raising up into the higher frequency emotions, about self-transformation. And so actually 2020 is a year where we now begin to transform ourselves. So from the start of the year, it's quite strange. I normally have quite a positive outlook. I'm quite a sunny disposition. And when the new year came in this year, I had this nagging feeling, is the only way I can put it. A bit like, and believe it or not, given everything that had gone on in the world in the last few years anyway, but I had this nagging feeling like a bit like it's all been a bit too cushy and we're not really listening, are we? I mean, we could see things playing out around about the environment. We could see things in our politics crashing down around us. Nothing was making sense. We've been watching banks and establishments break down over the last few years, and it's all seemed pretty dramatic and pretty terrible. But actually, when you look at it on the surface of things, none of it changed the way that we were living as a people on this planet, as one species of humanity. None of it changed all that. But 2020, I just had this feeling was going to bring something that was going to shake us all up. And it seemed like even just in my own personal life, I was going to, you know, I'd had it too smooth for the last couple, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Not every one of you out there is like that. But for me, it just felt like things have been ticking along okay, actually. What's to come? I just had this nagging feeling I wasn't going to enjoy this year. Let's put it that way. Not as much as I usually enjoy life. Anyway. Here we are in March 2020, and it's becoming quite clear, isn't it, that with the rapid pandemic of coronavirus, 2020 is going to be a year like no other, probably in the past century. And we thought that we were having it bad the last 5 years, guys. Well, no. I mean, do you know what coronavirus has done in my mind? It's pressed the reset button on humanity. It's almost like, you know, when are you guys going to sit up and listen? Things have been going bad enough as it is, and you're still refusing to make the change that you need to make in this world. There needs to be something that's going to just connect all of you together at once, stop everyone in their tracks and start to make a change. So 2020 is all about going within. It is on a personal level, you're going within yourself to reconnect with your spiritual nature, learning who you really are, getting in touch with your inner strength. You know, my goodness, 2020 is going to push every fear button going within you, no doubt, from relationships to finances to spiritual understanding to the purpose and meaning in life. And why does all of this happen? You know, we are going to be driven within. And I always say, as above, so below, or, you know, without ourselves, if we go without the outside of ourselves, the exoteric, is a reflection of the esoteric, the inner self. And this is what 2020 is going to bring us. We are really going to see that the material world is reflecting back to us like a mirror what we have been ignoring in the inner world within us. So we're going to go into a little bit of a dark night of the soul. Now that sounds terrible, but it isn't terrible. In fact, when you think about it, the soul is perfect. The soul is love. The soul is complete. It's indestructible. So dark night of the soul sometimes is a little misleading as an expression. Really what it is a reflective period where you are going to be triggered by things that are uncomfortable or challenging in order to make you move into a higher state of being, into a better way of living, into a more positive outcome for yourself. And most of us, it's, a sad fact to say, don't do that. We sit in our comfort zone until we're truly challenged. So we're going into a period in the next 3 months of a dark night of the soul, where it's going to feel like we are being pushed to our nth degree. We may lose jobs. We may lose the worst thing of all, our loved ones. We may lose our mental health if we are stuck indoors and cannot get out, even to get some fresh air for 10 minutes a day, where, some of us have seen pictures of people just leaning over balconies, looking out of windows, trying to just hear life around us, where you live on your own and you're isolated. This is going to be a real test of your soul. Now, if you don't have any kind of spiritual understanding or any awareness of a bigger picture, then it's going to feel even more challenging. So my work is about trying to get you to understand who you really are, that we should be going within anyway. My whole work has been about go within yourself and connect to the spirit, the essence, the consciousness within you that is indestructible, that is not physical, and that exists beyond this 3D earthly world that we live in and get caught up in all the time. I'm trying in my work, through the process of mediumship and giving readings, channeling wisdom, giving insights, bringing spirit close in all its many ways and shapes and forms, to prove to people out there, or to give them some evidence for, because I can't prove it scientifically, I'm well aware of, but to give evidence for the fact that life is so much more grander, so much more awe-inspiring than you can possibly even imagine, and that there is purpose, there is meaning, and any time something like this happens in our lives, it's an opportunity to be pushed, transformed, moved on to the next level of awareness, to make this world a better place, to bring us together, to connect us, to readdress and go within and find out what it is that's really important to us, and then to reflect and put into place processes to make change happen. So this year, although I'm calling it a dark night of the soul, 2020 is about transformation. So what can we do to help ourselves get through these challenging dark times? It's natural, obviously, to fear, to, feel uncertain because we don't know where we're going, to feel out of control because there doesn't seem to be any, because there isn't any control over this virus. It's going to do its thing. All we can do is damage, limitation, and look after one another. So we can't actually get rid of the virus. We haven't got the power to do that. So we can't control it all out and out, certainly not straight away. We can make a change. I'm sure we will eliminate it, and I'm sure we will be able to turn life back around to some resemblance of normality as soon as possible. So this is a message of hope, but it's also a message of saying, yeah, okay, it sucks right now, and there's not a lot that you can do. The power's been taken away from you. So how do you move into a position of empowerment rather than sit in a position of fear, worry, stress, anxiety, concern, and feeling as if humanity and yourself have taken the most huge step backwards? That doesn't help anyone, and that's the stuff of mental health issues to come. So what can you do? Well, I would say some really simple steps. First of all, start getting to grips with your spirituality. Most of us don't go within ourselves. We don't feel comfortable to be on our own. We don't have meditation practices in place where we just enter into the stillness and feel our own energy and get to know who we really are in our daily lives. So why not bring some of that in? Why not bring the practice of meditation into your day? You've got nothing else to do if you're sitting there at home. You can start to actually make sure that you are taking care of your health and your mental well-being by 10 minutes a day, just sitting in what's known as the power in mediumship terms, or just in the stillness for your own peace of mind. If you do that, you will find that fear, worry, anxiety, concern all begins to settle down a little bit. And it's in those times of stillness and peace that our best ideas come in and we can be inspired. And you might find that you receive an idea because of everything that's going on around you that allows you to think, I'm going to do that next. And then it gives you some inspiration, something to focus on, something to move forward to. And that actually you might not have been able to do this at any other time because you wouldn't have had the time in our busy lives that are full of rushing around. So I'd say take that time to get to know you. Go within. This is what this year is about. Learning to find your strength of spirit within yourself so that you can transform yourself into the greater version of yourself. Make a list of other things that you want to do. Maybe there's things that you want to achieve that you can't normally achieve. Maybe there's jobs that you want to do that you wouldn't normally be able to do. But more importantly, perhaps there's people that you haven't been connecting with, that you're now absolutely valuing that vital connection with, and that you can reach out to. Take this time to heal old friendships. Reach out to those you haven't spoken to for years, but you realise that you are appreciating that your friends are there and you haven't been investing time in them. You know, those that mean a lot to you, that you may be in your busy life just, through no fault of your own, haven't had time to connect with. Find the time to reconnect. Find the time to feel the joy in being connected soul to soul with your friends, your loved ones, and those that you really care about, so that you can lift your spirit and lift the vibrations and the energy on this planet into a more positive, loving, compassionate environment. And I would say if there's anything then, once you've made your list about the things you want to achieve over the next few weeks, the next stage now is to try and put together a routine. There is nothing worse than being stuck at home and having no kind of structure to your day and feeling like half the day's gone, you've done nothing but lounge around, you couldn't even feel like you wanted to get dressed. I mean, some of us are going to feel like that, particularly those of us who haven't felt well or who have lost work. It's going to be very difficult for you to feel motivated. So if the people around you in the house are also putting this kind of practice into place, we can lift one another. And this is the reason why I'm making these videos, so that even if you haven't got someone you're living with, there's a community here that can lift you, that can leave a comment, that can inspire you, or just let you know you're not on your own, and that many of us are feeling the same way. So set a routine. Find a way of putting time aside for those things you want to achieve and focus on. Get busy. Get busy on the things that you would never normally be able to do because you wouldn't usually have this opportunity in life to stop and reflect. That is probably going to be things like take charge of your health, get exercise, perhaps learn to cook something from scratch rather than, eating out all the time, or packet meals and things like that. It can be real simple things where you start to take element of control over your own life, because that's all you ever have, isn't it? You have control over your own emotions and how you respond to a situation. You don't have the control over the situation, but you do have control over how you choose to respond to it. So set routine, set time aside, and then stick to it. At those times, on those days, make sure that you are spending some time to achieve something with your day. And this will help the time pass, and it will help you to feel like this time isn't so bad really, is it? We can actually do something positive with a bad situation. And then the last thing that you're going to need to do is to keep doing it. Stick to that routine, because routine creates habit. Humans are habitual creatures. We need habit. The brain is working most of the time on automatic pilot. So most of the time when you don't make positive change in your life, it's because you haven't actually made it habit in your life. For instance, if you want to make walking part of your day so that you get exercise and you get out in the fresh air and don't feel confined into your house, you need to make that, set a time each day. Find a time that's good for you and go and walk. This will bring a habit into your life, and you will find that you will enjoy having that habit there, and you can continue it on. When things go back to normal, you will find that you are bringing these habits that you've now formed into your lifestyle and making positive changes. You actually have quite a lot to do in this period of change. 2020 being a year of transformation, having to come from within first in order for it to transform the outer world around us, means that at this time when you are stuck indoors, when you feel like everything that you have known has stopped, we're in this surreal kind of state of nothing being normal, not seeing people, not having our normal usual routines and habits around us, trying to find a new way. This is your chance. This is your opportunity for spiritual growth and to make a positive impact in your life. Because if you do that, you will have a ripple effect. And your actions and your compassion and your change of heart and the things that you do to give your mental well-being a lift are going to have a ripple effect on those around you. Just your neighbour or the person who's closest to you, they will then notice a difference and it will start to spread. It's a gradual process. It doesn't happen overnight. But by the time we are actually out and about, free of this virus and going back into the world as the world heals itself, which is what it's doing right now, and that reset button has been pushed, we should be going out with new habits. Something that is going to change the world so that we don't fall back into what hasn't been working for us. It's clear it hasn't been working for us. We can see it isn't, because we wouldn't be in this place right now. And it's insanity to ignore that and to think that, we're just going to go back to everything as it was before and this is just a blip. And the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, however long it takes, is just a really terrible time that you're just waiting for passing and then you're going to go out and live the same way as you did before. No, it's not going to work for you anymore. We're moving into new times. The world has changed, guys, and the quicker we catch up with that idea and realise that we all have our tiny part to play, that we all have a responsibility to make small changes in our lives that are going to help the earth and help humanity and the animal kingdom, then the more we're going to get out of this period of uncomfortable challenge, and we're going to be able to make sure that we don't experience such a terrible thing again for a long, long time. It's a sad fact that in the process of this, lives are going to be lost. We're going to be saying goodbye to souls who will be going home. Let's not make their lives wasted. Let's honour the fact they're here, that their lives have been given in this way so that we can wake up, smell the roses and pay attention to where we're at in this world. Let's make their lives matter. Let's show those souls who cannot die and will be in the spirit side of life that we listened, that they mattered, that their lives had importance and that there is nothing ever lost. The lessons that we have learned from the lives that they lived here, from the love that they gave, from the impact that they had on us, changed us and changed us for the better. Let's live in honour of all of them who are crossing back over the Rainbow Bridge into the spirit side of life, and to all of those souls who came here on a mission at this time to help us through this, to the nurses and doctors, to the healthcare providers, and to all of those who are doing their best to serve humanity to get us through these times. And that they're going to be on their knees trying to ensure that we don't completely collapse and society stays there. So you do have a duty. You have a duty to keep on top of your mental wellness. You have a duty to honour those who are going to lose their lives by making small changes, bringing positivity into your day, spreading some compassion to somebody near you. Make a new habit, even just one. Make a new habit in your life and allow that habit to change the way that you live, so that as we come out of this period, out of 2020 and into 2021, where we'll be able to reap the fruits that we have sown, then we can then start to see that as difficult and as challenging, as sad and as bleak as it all looks right now, we turned it to the advantage of humanity. That's my message. I'm doing it. Join me to do it. And I hope that this video has given you some maybe focus in a time when you can really feel like everything's out of control and you're not really sure how to move forward. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave me some comments below. I shall be posting other videos, but for now, I'm going to send my love to you. Stay safe and stay well.